My dear brothers and sisters from around the world, I'm thrilled that for today's Family Discovery Day at RootsTech, Sister Holland and I have the chance to help you discover our homeland in beautiful southern Utah. From the red rocks of Snow Canyon to the narrows of Zion National Park, from the majestic trees of Pine Valley Mountain to the early pioneer temple of St. George. This little corner of heaven on earth was the world of our childhood.
Elder Holland and I recently visited my hometown of Enterprise, Utah, where 4 generations of my family once lived. Part of my ancestral line comes from the barren and interlochen regions of Switzerland. Surely there is no greener nor more beautiful scenes in all of the world than those in Switzerland. Well, after my ancestors joined the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, they immigrated to America's rugged West, where there certainly was no discernible connection to Switzerland. This area of southern Utah was largely uninhabited, and there was scarcely a tree of any kind growing in what was eventually to become the little town of Enterprise. Can you imagine the disappointment of those settlers comparing this arid, rough desert land with the stunning beauty of the Swiss countryside? Well, my great-grandmother, Bertha Smootz Barlacher, was determined to do something about it. She planted a little row of fir trees around their little church meeting house, and every day she carried by hand several buckets of water to nourish and encourage those little trees. My mother, who was then just a little girl, often walked with her grandmother on that daily journey. One day, a well-meaning neighbor said to my great-grandmother, "Bertha, why do you waste your time carrying water to those trees? They will never amount to anything. Certainly you will never live to see them grow at all." My grandmother turned on this neighbor and with all 5 feet of her height said, "Maybe I won't live to see them grow at all, but this little girl will." And she pointed to my mother. Well, my mother did see them grow, and so did I. I went to church, played with my friends, and had picnics with my family under the shade of those beautiful trees my great-grandmother had planted and watered. Now my children and my grandchildren have played and had picnics under those same trees. And so the story goes on. Whether it is trees to remind us of our native land, or stories that tell us of our ancestors, or photos that show us how things were when we were young, these are all ways we tie ourselves to our heritage, ways we bind ourselves to those who must not be forgotten.
The nice thing about a story like that, which I dearly love, is that it becomes my story too. With my marriage to Pat, I automatically get a tie to her ancestors and their lives, in addition to my own. There's a multiplier effect in family history that is absolutely wonderful.